Yeah, g'day, and welcome back to my modernisation of this early 1980s Schaublin 125 CNC lathe. Now this lathe needs air, so this week I'm going to work on the air supply module. Well, here you can see the menu for this week. So for the Schaublin, I need a pneumatic air supply module on the wall. All of this junk used to be down inside the control cabinet, but I miniaturized the control cabinet and added a lot more electrical junk to it. So these guys had to move out to the wall. I'll start off with a back plate. And while I've got the angle grinder all warmed up, I got another job for it. Schaublin made this nice sheet metal motor protector for the X-axis, but because my new X-axis motor is so much shorter, it doesn't need to stick out anywhere near as far. So I can cut about 3 bananas off it, but it's got this nice gutter folded in around it to stop any coolant falling onto the cover, so I'd kind of like to keep that. So it might be best to make a couple of cuts, chop out all this stuff, and then weld the nice gutted part back onto the flange at the front. Oh no, wait, even easier. That flange is just spot welded on. So if I drill out the spot welds, cut it, weld the flange back on here. Now I better make a special effort to get all of the flange surfaces really clean with no paint on them so that they'll spot weld nicely. That's now prepped for spot welding. Just a shame I don't own a spot welder. But luckily my mate's got one. Actually, he's got a couple. But hey, let's use the bigger spot welder. So it looks like that's not quite clean enough, huh? Damn, I knew I should have sandblasted it at home before bringing it out. This pneumatically operated, water-cooled spot welder is really quite a beast. Thanks for doing this for me, Franz. Right, before I refit that cover, last week I pulled out this e-stop switch from the Schaublin because it's dead, it's missing the plunger. Hey cool, I got mail. So I cycled over to my mate Phil's place and sure enough, he gave me exactly the same switch. Thanks a lot, Phil. The lead on this one's been chopped off, so it's too short. I'll just swap it over for the other lead. Okay, that's brass or bronze. This one's plastic. I kind of like the metal things. Let's see if I've got another O-ring. Oh good. I found some household seal that should fit. This is an E-stop, so I need the normally closed contacts. Yep, same ones that were connected before. Right, time to grovel around underneath the machine again. When I showed my wife last week's video, I'm like, you know what this is? And she said, yeah, it's gunge. She's not wrong. This coolant bay is pretty disgusting. Just adjust that to about hitting. Being a little bit more. Right, last thing to do is just adjust this stop. That's probably too much. I don't want the push rod smashing my new switch. Right, with that done, next I can fit my motor cover. Now my mate Franz did offer to sandblast the whole thing, get all the paint off, so I could repaint it. But realistically, I don't think there's much point. You know, this has lost all its paint anyway, because it's in exactly that area where all the swarf and stuff hits it. So I think it's better just to leave it. Wait a minute, it's hitting here. Just need to trim a little more off. I'm still missing some fittings, so I'll have to order those today. Therefore, I can't get all of my holes drilled until I know what the fittings are. I guess I can mount one component. Okay, so while a Starrett tap wrench this size is total overkill for tapping an M6 hole in, what is it, 2.5mm, maybe 3mm plate, it sure feels nice. What a beautiful tool. Right, now I can go and order those fittings. While waiting for my pneumatic fittings to deliver, I thought you might be interested in seeing this. This is what a thrust reverser looks like without the engine. The fan air normally goes down this annular duct, and when the reverser actuates, these blocker doors pivot forward to block off this duct, sending the air out cascade vanes to the side. Looking from the back, the inner portion of the thrust reverser forms part of the firewall system of the engine, so it's covered with this heat-resistant red stuff. Mail time! I was out with work this week, and luckily now that I've got back, the parts I ordered have arrived. I already bought a foil keyboard for this machine. Then this one came up, and I thought, man, that looks really perfect. Now the one I already got is similar to the one I used on the mini lathe, but it's sort of molded into this plastic, and it was going to be a bit of a pain to install it. So when this came up, why not? This one looks like it's going to be pretty easy to install. There's a bunch of studs already fitted. This is my 4 relay board that I'm going to use to add some more 24 volt outputs. These are just little encoders with reset. I'll be using them for feed rate override, spindle override, stuff like that. And the one we've all been waiting for. Hopefully this is all the pneumatic fittings I need to finish the air supply module. To mount the 2 pressure regulators onto my backboard, I'm going to need some spacers under here, so let's turn some of them. For a part as simple as a spacer, where you only need 4 of them, it's kind of hard to justify setting up a CNC machine. Well, that's 4 spacers for the brackets. And while the lathe was hot, I made another 4 to space the whole plate up off the wall. There's a couple of screw holes under this main shutoff valve body, so I need a little bracket just to support it. Alright, one quick and nasty bracket later. Alright, now we're ready for final assembly. I still need to do something about this wiring, but that's going to have to wait till next week, I guess. For now I can just tie the top part along here. Well, there we have it. Air comes in, there's an on-off valve controlled by LinuxCNC. Air gets filtered, we go out dry air for the collet closer, or down to lubricated air for all the other services, and there's a pressure sensor to return the condition to LinuxCNC. Well, who would have thought? This week I again didn't get everything done that I was hoping to. Thanks for watching.